So, it's you're probably looking at this and you're wondering to yourself, why am I doing a work week vlog, you know, on a Thursday, on November 9th at 5:33 p.m. Pacific time? Why am I doing a vlog? Well, it's real simple. You see, normally, as you know, I try to do these either on the weekend, either it's after work if I'm up to it, on a Friday, or I try to do it maybe on a Sunday when I have the place to myself. But that's not the case here. Because you see, tomorrow I'm going to be off of work. Now, I'm not scheduled to be off. No, I'm not scheduled to be off. What it is that my mom, who I've mentioned many times, is here on this channel, is a preschool teacher. She works in Livermore. And the way things work out for us is we both, since I've been working at Kohl's, we both get up around 4:15. We try to, and the end result is we try to get out of the house between 5:15 and 5:30. 5:30 being at the latest. Then what happens is she drops me off at work. She waits in the parking lot until the sun comes up. That's what she did when it was daylight savings time, and it was dark, pretty much still nighttime, even at 6 in the morning. She'll wait till a little sun comes up, which would basically be about 20, 25 minutes later, and then she'll take off for her job. But now that we're into standard time and the sun's coming up a lot sooner, basically as soon as she's dropping me off, she usually waits about maybe 10, 15 minutes at most, and then she takes off. But what does this have to do with her? Well, you see, since this Saturday, officially, November 11th, is going to be Veterans Day, a lot of places, are going to be observing Veterans Day tomorrow. And one of those places, if not many of them, is the schools. Mostly the school district, which her Head Start corresponds with schedule-wise. So because they correspond with it on, basically schedule-wise, she is going to basically be having that day off. Now, again, what does this have to do with me? Well, it's real simple. My mom told me about a month ago when she revealed to me that she was going to have the 10th off of November. She told me a month ago that I needed to request that day off. So that's what I did. And I kept it there. And instead of reminding them, like, hey, I have this I have this request that I need approved for the 10th, I waited. But I had a feeling, though, I had a feeling, though, that even though I had told them, and I told them not even that long ago, they still didn't acknowledge it. Like, they switched, like, last week, well, not last week, but this week, they had me scheduled at 4 a.m. to 2:30. So I had to let them know, hey, I can't do that. You know that. So they fixed it, put it 6 a.m. to 2:30. But what's interesting is I also told them about the request, but they didn't touch upon that. They didn't touch upon that or anything. So I had to email them again, and once word did get to one of the managers, front-end managers, they said, no, we can't do the time off. But that's where what's known as the unplanned absence, UA, comes in. They give you about 80 hours, initially, and I think you build it back up, or you regain it the following year or something. So I don't like doing that, but because I know she won't get up because she's off tomorrow, I decided to use the unplanned absence, which basically is I look at that as a last resort. I look at that as basically I have no other choice but to do this. And even the manager who talked to me, he said, hey, I just want to follow up on you about that request, and he just wanted to kind of let me know that, hey, I understand where you're coming from, but because we're in peak season right now, and believe me, he ain't kidding. He ain't kidding about that when it comes to warehousing either. He said he couldn't do it. They need all hands on deck. But he did understand and even kind of encouraged that, hey, if you have to do it, you just use that UA. That's what it's there for. So that's what I'm going to do. And what it does, it'll take me down from basically 80 hours or close to 80 hours to 71 hours or to 70 hours, basically. Well, actually, I have 79, but it'll take me down to about 80, you know, at the end, when it's all, not down to 80, but 70. It'll take me down to 70. I'm tired, as you can tell I did work today. But it'll take me down to 70. Hopefully, I won't have to use it that much anymore. But the way my mom is already positioning things, it looks like the 27th is going to be another day I have to UA with. And I don't want to do that. The good thing is, though, when you let them know that, hey, the 27th, I'm also going to be gone, they don't take away the UA until that day. Like, I looked at my UKG app, which has my schedule and everything. I looked at that, and today it had me at 79. Tomorrow, it has me at 70 hours remaining of UA. Basically meaning, hey, we're not going to deduct until the day starts. But the point that I'm getting at is, I didn't want to really do this, but again, knowing that my mom has already informed me, I'm not going to get up. So you don't plan on going to work that day. I have no other choice. And I understand, look, she's a teacher. She does a lot for me. She does a lot for me. She doesn't have to. She gets up early, takes me to work. She waits a little bit, then she goes to her job in Livermore. I get it. And, I understand that she does deserve a break. But I'm the kind of person that doesn't like taking that many breaks, if you will. But unfortunately, that's what I got to do tomorrow. And maybe it'll be good for me too, just to relax a little bit, have a 3-day weekend before I go back. Now, speaking of which, though, that's interesting too, because today in the agenda notes, she basically said that tomorrow, when everybody else shows up at work, although my sister believes some people won't because of the weekend, basically she said she's going to have a sheet, VTI sheet, voluntary time in sheet, for anybody that wants to work on Saturday, a regular 8-hour shift, which would be like 6 to 2:30. The reason for it is that way they can get ahead. Because one of the issues that's making us having to do making the company or making the warehouse have to do the 10-hour deal, the 50 hours a week deal, 4 a.m. to 2:30, 3 to 1:30, in the case of my nephew, is we're not at that numbering level that we need to be in each area, like Pack to Light, P2L, where my sister's at, Pack to Light, P2L. Or stripping where I'm at, or Amazon where I'm at times, or even shipping where I help out like I did today, or where I was on Monday. We're not at that level that we need to be. We're not at the levels we need to be, I should say. So unfortunately, because of that, we have to do the overtime and everything. We have to do the overtime. Now, what's funny is during the agenda notes, because we don't have that many chairs, I was on the floor. And just out of habit, and I'm sure they've dealt with this before, but just out of habit, I was on my phone when I wasn't supposed to be. So out of habit, I was on my phone when I wasn't supposed to be, and that was my fault. They asked me to put it away, and, as soon as they did, I just put it away. I didn't use it. But again, it's out of habit. Who doesn't do that sometimes? Who doesn't do that? Those kind of company meetings or team meetings or whatever. when they're trying to pass the time or keep themselves occupied while they're hearing their bosses talk about all the things that are going on. Who hasn't done that? Come on, seriously. I'm sure my sister has. There's no doubt. I'm sure she has, as well as my nephew. But they probably won't say or admit it, but I'm sure they have. But again, the thing is, we're at that level right now to where it's like, whew, the moment she came out and she told everybody, yeah, we're going to be doing this another 50 hours this upcoming week and maybe even the beginning of December after Thanksgiving, The week of Thanksgiving, which is only 3 days for us, that's kind of like, we're not really sure. Will it be 8? Will it be 10? It'll be depending, like, number wise where we're at, where we stack up in these areas. But yeah, everybody was not thrilled about that. They're like, oh no, not again. You know, it's like they did not want to hear that, but yet, but yet, we're at a situation to where it's like, yeah, this is pretty much going to be the norm for at least another couple of weeks. From a work schedule perspective, it's pretty much going to be the norm. You know, uh, but yeah, it's been a heck of a week, and it went by quick so far. It'd still be going on tomorrow. Again, like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that my mom's going to be off, and she doesn't want to have to get up early on a day off so she can sleep in on just to take me to work. I mean, I look at it like this. If she wanted, I look at it like this. If she could, all she'd have to do is just, get a bit, wake up a little bit, get herself decent, drink a bit of coffee, get in the car. I'd pay for the gas. She'd drive me to work. Then she could drive back, maybe lay back down again, maybe on the couch, over here, maybe on the couch over here, or on her bed and just rest again for at least another couple of hours. But she doesn't want to do that. She wants to rest fully. And again, I don't blame her because of everything she does for me just to get me to work. And also the fact that the way her job's been going, yeah, she needs a bit of a mental break. It's like enough's enough. Her job basically is a circus. We'll put it that way. It's an unorganized circus with some of the decisions they've been making. And her and her fellow teachers, um, they don't like it. Well, at least some of them seemingly don't like it, but who knows? Um, but yeah, it's just one of those situations to where now she's contemplating either retiring or finding something closer so she doesn't have to deal with the BS anymore and the travel. But, well, like I said, outside of that, like I said, this week was busy. Like heck, Monday they had me stripping a little bit, doing a little bit of trailer stripping, and then for the most of the day they had me cross punch over into shipping. I did shipping for that. And then Tuesday and Wednesday I did stripping mostly, and then I helped out somewhat in shipping, just like for a couple of minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Did that today as well. And I have no doubt that if I'm gonna, and I have no doubt in my mind that if I'm gonna work, that if I was to work tomorrow, if I was to work tomorrow without any issue, I'd either, with the way I saw it today, I'd probably end up being in shipping for most of tomorrow. But again, I'll never know. I'll never know because I'm not working tomorrow because of the situation. I mean, heck, when the guy talked to me about wanted to follow up on it, and he talked to me, he even kid that yeah, this is the UA, the unplanned absence, the UA. That's that it's there for these kind of situations because sometimes you're at the mercy of things that are beyond your control, and this is one of them. You know, but yeah, it's been one of those weeks to where it's like, oh, how could it get any crazier? Well, let's put it this way: my history with the buses continues. It continues. Because on Tuesday, the guy, I got on his bus. I had to go down to the Chevrolet just to catch it, the Chevrolet stop to catch it. Didn't even see me at the park because he got distracted by mother, father, and a daughter. And then today was even way crazier because the bus driver was delayed because he had to switch buses. Apparently, someone peed on his bus or something. And the newer driver that we got switched over to at least knew where she was going. She just gets distracted too easily sometimes when she's talking. But yeah, it's one of those days, guys. Just one of those